I competed in another $1,000 prize pool tournament and absolutely dominated. This tournament had a huge prize pool on the line, one of the biggest I've seen in Beyblade X thus far. And it was the first large-scale event that I got to attend where Shark Scale was legal. That means the Shark Scale blade, the 450 ratchet, and the 170 ratchet were getting into players' hands for the first time. And everyone came in wondering the same thing. Would Shark Scale end up dominating out of the gate, or would it end up floundering? Also for me, this tournament was extra special because it was one of the last big tournaments I was able to attend before my big cross-country move from Chicago to here in Los Angeles. So I wanted to leave it all on the floor. With that said, ready for the big leagues? Let's dive in. Just before that, this video would not be possible without sponsors of the channel, Bays & Bricks, Baylocker, and Noozle 3D. You can use code WIZARD at any of these shops to get 8 to 10% off your order and greatly support the channel. Additionally, I am super excited to finally announce the long-awaited Anti-Wizard Wizard Club official merch store, which is finally live, link down in the description below. Everything in this store is designed by me personally to be fun, stylish, but not over the top. All the apparel I offer is made to order using high-quality materials from reputable brands. You're not getting random screen printed Gildan cotton here. The designs are thoughtful and made using embroidery rather than screen prints, so the quality is really there. And outside of the sick shirts, hats, sweaters, and even cups, I also have the highly requested and anticipated official Anti-Wizard Wizard Club lock chip sticker sets. This is the same artwork that I use across all of my Beyblades and all of my tournament videos, and now you can put it on any of your Beyblades as well in one of 6 different color schemes. You can grab these sticker sheets in either the BX/CX size or the UX size, so you get the perfect fit on whatever blade you're trying to rock with it. And of course, you can use code WIZARD to get free shipping on any order $75 or more. So don't forget to check out the official Anti-Wizard Wizard Club merch store now live, links down below. And if you want to support the channel even further, consider becoming an official member of the Anti-Wizard Wizard Club using the YouTube channel membership program. Very similar to Patreon, just a couple of bucks a month, and you get early access to all of my videos the moment they are uploaded, access to an exclusive members-only Discord server with myself and other content creators to chat and hang out, and other benefits. So deeply appreciate your consideration and your support. But with that being said, let's jump right back into the video. For this event, I wanted to keep a solid balance of known entities with some secret sauce that I was cooking up at the time. First up was my trusty anchor Wizard Rod 160 Hexa. This combo has carried me through so many tournaments and it is still my rock. No reason to change things for now. Next, I brought the Shark Scale combo that I found to be most successful after doing over 700 individual combo tests of the blade, which that video is linked down below if you're curious about those results. But the combo I chose to bring was Shark Scale 450 level, which I didn't know at the time, but ended up being one of the combos that the top 4 finishers of the Beyblade 2025 World Championships ended up using. And to round things out, I needed a solid beefy attacker, so today I chose to bring Aero Pegasus 360 Kick. It's fast, it's powerful, and it can blow games wide open when you least expect it. Anyways, with my deck sorted out, let's get into the tournament. To kick the day off, I pit my anchor in Rod 160 Hexa against his Aero on an aggressive 160 level. And I get pretty lucky, as his powerful Extreme Dash ends up skimming me, sending him straight into the pocket. Next, my Short King Shark Scale 450 level against his recoil pick, Hover Wyvern, on an interesting 960 wedge. I bank my corner, but he reads and heads straight there as well, though my level bit helped keep me stable here. I get the positive exchange in the recoil as he sends himself into the pocket, but the shape of Wyvern rebounds him out of the pocket, though not without costing him most of his stamina, giving me the point. We end on my trusty Aero Pegasus 360 Kick against his clean Phoenix Wing on a 660 point. But all it takes is one last recoil thanks to my excellent positioning to send him flying into the pocket by his own doing, securing round 1 with a clean 5-0 finish. Heading into round 2 feeling good, it kicks off with a mirror of Rod 160 Hexa. With a bit of destabilization from me, along with a powerful launch, I'm able to secure the first point. Next, I bring out the Shark against his Drake on 760 Rush, a combo I sort of see as an outdated variant of mine with a similar win condition. And the age shows, as Impact Drake's existential issue of stamina rears its head and gives me the point. For our third, we have old versus new Pegasus, my Arrow versus his Blast on Slash 960 Low Rush. Unfortunately, his weight quickly works against him as he's thrown into the pocket with little means of escape, putting me at match point. At the shuffle, I naturally bring out Rod against his Impact Drake. He gets a nice shove on me into the pocket, but 160 pulls me right back out, leading to an eventual spin finish win, putting the match at 5-0 in my favor. Total today at 10-0 so far. A clean 10-0 scoreline going into round 3. I start with my Rod against his Blast on Assault 660 Freeball. He gets a nice hit on me that sends me round and round the X-Rail. Terrified but not out, I slip in and out of the pocket, and thanks to the incredible stamina of Rod, I am still able to outlast his Blast on Freeball. Next, my Scale against a historically tough anti-meta pick against it, Silver Wolf on 960 Wedge. And yet, it doesn't matter as I get an almost immediate clean pocket on his Wolf, feeling on fire right now. Finally, my Arrow against his short and stout Phoenix Wing on 160 Under Needle. After some strong initial contact, I enter a heavy tilt and can't counter his Needle Bit, costing me my first point of the tournament. Into the shuffle, I bring out my Shark against his Wolf once again. I get a clean reverse dash, hoping to get a solid one-hit KO once again. Unfortunately, I recoil off that dash and end up in the pocket, but due to Shark's shape, I catapult out of the pocket, ending face down in a spin finish instead of a pocket. Second up, my Rod against his Blast. But suddenly, a critical malfunction occurs. His Blast perfectly ricochets me into the top corner at the early stages of the battle, causing me to self-extreme, losing the match. Shaking it off, I start off with the Anchor Rod against my opponent's Golem Rock on 070 Wedge. This combo always throws me off, as the Rock tends to do so many unpredictable things, but I end up safely taking a spin finish here. Next, my Shark against another Wolf, this time on 760 Hexa. My reverse dash isn't enough, as my hits can't seem to shake the defensive force of Wolf on Hexa, equalizing the score. Finally, my Arrow Pegasus against his Rod on 960 Freeball. I get a clean double hit into a burst there, slicing his Rod into 3 pieces. At the reshuffle, it's a rematch of Shark vs. Wolf. Unfortunately, he gets a nicely positioned recoil, sending me away into the pocket. 3-3 now. Next, our Rod variants face off, my Hexa versus his Freeball. After quite a while, the Stamina variant is able to take it, as expected due to a lack of destabilization coming from me. That leaves my Arrow against his Golem Rock. I'm able to rock his world and send him into the pocket, ending the match at 5-4 and a round win for me. Sitting at 3-1, I need to win every round of Swiss left if I want to lock in my top cut placement. Kicking it off, I put my Rod up against a favorite of mine, Night Mail on 160 Low Rush. That Night Mail has some strong recoil at first, but not enough to destabilize my Rod as I take a convincing spin finish win. For our second, it's my Shark against his Wyvern on a defensive 960 Hexa build. We have a wild clash at the start that sends his Wyvern from side to side, but after, things get a lot calmer. And as time goes on, his Hexa bit and balanced 960 Ratchet lend him the stamina he needs to barely outspin me. For our third, it's my Pegasus against his Rod on 760 Wedge, a popular bit today it seems. I get a nice reverse dash after some initial contact, but end up circling a highly stable Rod in the center. This slowly and painfully leads to a spin finish in his favor. Shaking it off at the reshuffle, I decide to go more aggressive, with nothing to lose and everything to gain. I bring out my Shark against his Wyvern once again, and this time it works out in my favor. Next up, we have a Rod off. Unexpectedly, after some trading, it goes in my favor. Last up, my Pegasus against his Nightmail. He starts off with a highly aggro hit onto my Pegasus, destabilizing me enough so his second hit sends me onto the rail into a self-pocket KO. At the shuffle, I put my faith in Rod, while he believes in the power of his Nightmail. Let's see if he can do it again. Spoiler alert, he self-extremes. But it was a really fun match, so GG's to him. Now 4-1 into round 6, I'm up against a kid. But after losing in top 8 at a huge tournament a couple of months ago to a youngin', I'm not gonna underestimate him. Especially when he's facing me, who's at 4-1 in round 6. He must be doing something right to be here. I start my Rod Anchor against his Phoenix Wing on 360 low rush. Tried and true, as the Muffin says. He gets a beautiful X-dash onto my Rod, but it's not enough, as I hold my ground against his Phoenix for a spin finish. Next up, my Shark against his Dragoon on the classic 560 Elevate combo. With an excellent read, if I do say so myself, I position myself in the perfect spot to stall for a moment and snap him into the pocket. I almost felt bad doing it to this kid until he started to trash talk.
It's about to lock in.
Really? Pay to win?
Wait, I need to see your... Hey, show him everything.
Just kidding. He's fine, and I did spend an irresponsible amount of money on that Aero Pegasus, so, you know, fair play. Anyways, my pay-to-win Beyblade is up against his Wyvern on 160 kick. They start off with an aggressive rattling of attacks, but with Wyvern on 160, it doesn't have the balance to stay up for long, giving me the spin finish win. At match point, I bring out the Rod against his Wyvern, and unfortunately he gets a nice quick pocket, nullifying my stamina advantage. Next up is my Shark against his Dragoon, and I am ready to feast on that bit. And that's exactly what I do, at the first point of contact no less. A great way to close out the match with a win. Heading into the last round of Swiss, the pressure is on to get the W and guarantee a top cut slot. We hit it off with a Rod battle, both on Hexa, but mine on 160 against his on 970. Instantly, we both flew into the extreme zone and the pocket respectively, and it took a lot of review to figure out what the call was. It ended up being an extreme in his favor, but the scoreboard was updated wrong at the time. It gets sorted out later in the match though. Into round 2, I bring out Shark against another blast on Slash at 360 kick. I get a nice pocket here for a clean 2 points. Into the third bay, it's my Aero Pegasus against his Dragoon on 960 Elevate. After a good amount of contact, he gets the expected spin finish win. Into the shuffle, and my life on the line, I bring out my Shark against his Rod. It's looking grim as the battle goes on, but I'm able to destabilize him enough to score a spin finish win, thanks to that level bit. Next, it's my Rod against his Dragoon, another scary matchup. And again, somehow, I'm able to defy the odds and tie it up with a spin finish. It's the last point to take it all, and it's my Aero versus his Blast, and Aero shows why it's the dominant Pegasus here. Multiple strong hits knock Blast off its balance and into the pocket, securing the round and match win, ending Swiss with a 6-1 record. And that record in Swiss lands me at a clean 3rd place, which I'm pretty happy about going into Top Cut. But I know it's not over yet. Here's where things get interesting. Moving into Top Cut, it's first to 7, so I changed my ordering strategy a little bit. I start off with my aggressive Shark against a Tyranno Beat on 170 kick, hoping to score some big early points. After 4 insanely huge hits in a row, we calm down a bit and settle in for a spin finish win in their favor this time. Next up, my Aero against their own short scale, this time on low rush. We both hit the stadium and I almost instantly get a solid pocket against him. For our third, it's my Rod against his Wyvern on 160 level. After some good initial contact, unfortunately he ends up self-extreming as I dodge a hefty attack. It's a rematch of his beat against my Shark. We both get picturesque reverse dashes and drop in for a gnarly set of attacks. In an extremely close fight, he again ends up sneaking the spin finish win. Our second is Aero versus his Shark scale. I get a good set of consecutive attacks on him, but it's still super close. I end up barely eking out a spin finish against his shark that just didn't seem to want to go down. Lucky. At match point, it's another green battle, Rod versus Wyvern, and a critical failure occurs. He knocks my Rod into the perfect spot to get an early rail ride and self-extreme once again. At the shuffle, it's likely match point either way, as it's a rematch of Wyvern versus my Rod. I need to play defensively here, so I launch into my own top corner, hoping to avoid some of the early aggression. And this plays in my favor as I secure a spin finish win after he teeters out. I'm up against my buddy Manny's partner, someone who I haven't played against, so I'm not sure what to expect. First up, a battle of the sharks, mine on level against hers on 160 low rush. Unfortunately, some early contact sends me into the rail into another self-extreme. A rough start, but I could come back, right? Next, my Pegasus versus Rod on 960 ball. My clean reverse dash initially misses, but then the second wave gets a solid hit onto Rod, and the rebound double attack sends it into the extreme, avoiding the stamina match. We're tied up. Last up, my Rod against her Silver Wolf on 770 Hexa. Feel pretty confident in this matchup, as I take a clean spin finish. At the reshuffle, I bring my Shark against hers for another rematch. I get a nice drop into a clean set of 3 hits in a row, which leads to an eventual spin finish in my favor due to the destabilization on her end. Next up, a Rod off, Hexa versus Ball. Unfortunately, it doesn't lead to a stamina battle, as I'm able to position myself extremely well and force her into an early pocket. And this moves me into top 8. I'm up against Nemo, a rising blader in our scene who's on a tear today. We start off with a shark battle, mine on level against his on 360 low rush. He gets a clean drop, a generally calm start, but our first point of contact is favorable for me, as I get a spiky launch into the extreme zone onto him. Next, my arrow against his Phoenix Wing on 160 rush. He takes a quick pit stop at the shroud barrier before quickly dropping in, and after some deliberation with our TO and head judge, they deemed it a legal battle, so I get a spin finish win here. Finally, my Rod is up against his arrow on 960 kick. He eventually gets a nice pocket on me, but I shoot right back out, eventually securing a spin finish and sitting at a 5-0 scoreline into the reshuffle. And at the reshuffle, it's my Shark against his arrow. I get a super clean reverse dash, and after some rail riding and chasing, I get a super clean pocket finish, securing the match at 7-0. And that takes us to the semifinals. I've made it to the semis, and I'm up against Requiem God, who's been in my videos before. I start strong with my Shark against his Rod on a stamina-focused 960 wall ball. Kicking it off, I get a quick and clean extreme finish on his Rod. Very happy with that. Next up, my arrow against his Silver Wolf on 970 ball. A tough match for me. Unfortunately, after some early grazes, I accidentally slide onto the rail and self-pocket. Really unfortunate. Our third bay, it's my Rod against his Shark on 160 low rush. He gets a pretty quick burst onto my Hexa bit, which is somewhat surprising because of the burst resistance it has, but then again, it's Shark. At the reshuffle, we're in shark-infested waters here with both of us using it. My Shark on level withstands a powerful hit, and after a while retains a spin finish win due to the extra stamina that bit has. Next, it's my Rod against his Wolf. I should get this, but unfortunately, the contacts favor him, as I spun his free blade a bit too much and take a spin finish loss. Lastly, it's Arrow against his Rod on wall ball. His rod withstands some powerful early hits and restabilizes thanks to that wall ball keeping him upright. With $1,000 on the line, I lock in as hard as I can and bring out my shark against his wolf. After a bit of stalling, I get a nice angled snipe into the pocket, tying the match at 6-6. It's all on the line. One of us walks into the grand finals after this decisive battle. It's my rod on Hexa versus his rod on wall ball. And unfortunately, with that launch on that day, I was not destined for the grand finals, as I take a spin finish loss versus his rod on wall ball, losing the semifinals match with a 6-7 score. At the end of the day, it was close, but no dice for that top spot. Still, I'm really happy with a strong third place finish and taking home a hefty chunk of change as part of the prize pool. It was also a little bittersweet for me, as I really wanted to win it all with one of my last tournaments before I moved out here to LA, but you know, I had a great time and I think I did pretty well. But what do you think? How did I do this tournament? What could I have done differently? What would you run in this tournament scene? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, just let me know what you think about the video in general. The comments on the video actually really help the video in terms of the YouTube algorithm, so whether you loved it or you hated it, let me know and I'll be sure to check it out. With that said, like the video if you like the video and subscribe for more awesome Beyblade X content in your feed very, very soon. Don't forget to check out the official Anti-Wizard Wizard Club merch store linked down below. It's a brand new merch store that I just launched. It's got a bunch of really cool stuff, so I hope you check it out. Also, don't forget to use code WIZARD at Baylocker, Bays and Bricks, and Newsel3D for 8 to 10% off your order. Great way to save a few bucks and greatly support the channel. Shout out to the current members of the official Anti-Wizard Wizard Club on the screen now. If you want to join that club, you can hit the join button down below. You'll get early access to videos, an invitation to an exclusive members only Discord server to hang and chat with myself, others in the community, and other content creators. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to show your support, hit that join button down below. But even if you can't, if you just want to like the video or not like it and just watch, that's totally fine. I deeply appreciate your support. With all of that said, my name is Ryan with the Anti-Wizard Wizard Club. Thank you so much for watching and welcome to the club.